Beautiful. Hey, Sue. Lovely to have you on.
Hi.
So it's so great to have everyone on here. So I'll go back to sharing my screen now as well, and then we can kind of get kicked off, which should be good. So I was just saying to everyone that feel free to leave your mics open. So if you do want to jump in and ask me a question, feel free at any point to do that. All that I'm asking is if you do have background noise happening, if you could be mindful of that and just mute your mic while that's actually happening. But otherwise, we can have this as a super interactive thing. It's like so much better than a Facebook Live. So I'm excited to jump into obviously today's topic, which is creating an empowered mindset, and especially in the midst of uncertainty. It was so funny. I created this webinar 2 weeks ago. Well, actually, I lie. I stole it from another webinar that I'd done, and I was like, oh, that topic is perfect. That content is perfect for like what I'm wanting to share with women. And in 2 weeks, I'm like, oh, that's like irrelevant right now. That's irrelevant right now. So I've literally scrambled this afternoon just to get this last little bit in to make it much more relevant, obviously, to what's actually going on, because it'd be great, obviously, to share that to the group as well, and then anybody else that wants to watch this at a later date, that will work for them as well, hopefully. So obviously, with everything going on at the moment, we really need to be mindful around, are we being the influencer or are we allowing ourselves to be influenced? And so I've kind of like done, you know, the clothes in the closet, you know, is our mind like the top closet? Is it like cluttered? Is it disorganized? Is it frantic with what's actually happening? Do you feel out of control? Do you feel like there's a lot going on for you? Or do you feel like neat and orderly? Do you feel, or maybe, you know, neat and orderly is not great, but you feel okay, you feel together, you feel like you've got things in place, you've got a strategy, you're clear, and you can move forward in that particular way. So we need to really stand guard at our mind. So important right now, and I know for all of you listening right now that this has been something that's been so important that I've spoken about a lot as well. And hey, Bron, lovely to have you on here too, Dylan. So really, really important, more than ever before, to really stand guard of your mind. So this means like really filtering the messages that you're getting in, guys. Like if you have either social media or TV going all the time in the background, you need to be really mindful of that. I spoke to, or I may have already shared this with quite a few of you anyway, but I'll just repeat it again because it's worth saying. There was a study done or interviews done with the top sorry, they weren't the top CEOs, but they were CEOs of companies from 2.1 million right through to 500 million. So there was 30 of them that they interviewed. And what they actually did was after they'd interviewed them, they actually asked them all exactly the same questions, and then they ran their answers through a word processor, and that word processor identified where there was repeat words that were used. And so what they discovered after doing that was that there was 3 types of CEOs that came through from that study. There was the fear-focused CEOs, there was the unfocused CEOs, and there was the strategy focused CEOs. So this is kind of, you know, like if we could take this as an analogy, I guess, for how we want to move through this particular time in our experience. Obviously, it's very unprecedented in lots and lots of different ways. You know, where we've never experienced anything like this before. I certainly have not in my lifetime. Yeah, I'm sure, you know, pretty much everybody could probably say that. I don't want to assume that, but you know, it really is like this really uncertain time moving forward. So with the studies, what they found was that the fear-focused CEOs were consuming 9 times more social media and TV and news reports than the other groups. So that's like a key straight away, like around this standing guard of your mind. The other things, you know, they were using more words like hysteria, and they were still using words like it could be an opportunity, but they were much more fear focused as well. So they were trying to be positive, but their language was actually really quite indicative of a lot of fear that was kind of coming through. They had no strategies in place. They were literally reacting to the situation as it unfolded. and living in a lot of fear. The unfocused CEOs were similar in some ways, but had more kind of head in the sand type thinking. So they were like, oh, it'll be right. Like they weren't actually being responsive to the information that was coming in. They were kind of trying to turn a blind eye to it. And if there's anything that I want to share with you guys tonight, it's yes, ignore reality, but also live in reality as well. As Dr. Joe would say, he's like 1 foot in the fifth dimension, and which is a quantum, the quantum field, and 1 foot in 3D. You cannot live in this state of, you know, just total oblivion to what's going on, nor can you be fully cemented in, you know, the 3D experience of what's actually really happening right now. Because if you did and you open yourself up completely emotionally on all levels, like for a lot of you that are super sensitive like I am, it would just blow you to pieces. And like, you know, that's not a great analogy, but you know, so it's like being able to oscillate between those two. Yes, check in, but do it like really consciously and very deliberately when you're actually checking into to the news or to social media, things like that, and limit your time around it as well. So if you feel like, oh, if there's like one page that gives you like a lot of the government information on the new regulations or different structures and things like that that are coming in, tune into that, but then get out of there, like don't hang around in there. So we really need to manage our mindset. For many of you, like I've had that conversation where I've told you, like I'm doing mindset work 3 times a day at the moment. Like I'm checking my energy constantly, simply because like there's a lot of intense conversations that I'm having, and I need to maintain a super high level of energy for myself, but also for everybody else around me. But I want that more for me. You know, like, so however you want to go through this experience is actually how you're going to go through this experience. So if you're willing to tolerate, you know, living in a little bit more fear, a little bit more concerns or worries or anything else, you know, then don't worry about doing the mindset stuff so much. But if you really do want to have a positive experience through this, which I truly do believe that we can, in so many ways, then stand guard of your mind. Rant over. So I guess, you know, furthering to the rant, what thoughts are occupying your mind? So just really creating an awareness around this as well, in terms of being self-aware. Like if you start to feel really tired or exhausted, or you're feeling like frenetic, or you're just feeling in a fearful state, or you feel like another thing that I've noticed in my body is my body gets very tight when I'm like in that a little bit unconscious fear, if that makes sense. I notice I do it when I go shopping and things like that. So if I'm walking into the Coles or Woolies, and then I walk out and I just notice my body's really quite tense as well. So I've taken to like sticking AirPods in my ears and listening to Abraham and kind of singing that Alison Davies little ditto or ditty, you know, around my cells are healthy. You know, do whatever you can to really switch things out, and to be positive, like around your thoughts. Sorry, did somebody want to say something? No, we're all good. Okay, I was just checking in. And again, be really conscious in what you're choosing to focus on each day. It's one of the reasons why in the Inner Circle Mastermind, like I spoke about, doing those goal videos and doing those goal movies as well, because it gives you something to focus on, gives you something to look forward to, and something that you're working towards. Remembering when we're learning, or we're growing, or we're like creating, we're using the front brain, that prefrontal cortex, which means we're not in our back brain, which is where our fear resides. So that's, you know, our survival brain is back here. So if we want to be creative and create solutions, we need to be thinking with our prefrontal cortex. So are you planting seeds of doubt or seeds of faith? And again, you know, this is so important on so many levels. So again, just checking in with your thinking, you know, where are you going each day? Are you in doubt? Are you in fear that, you know, is everything going to be okay or not? And, you know, particularly, like, obviously there's a lot of impact at the moment around economics and financial well-being, all of those sorts of things. But again, like really cementing in, and I'll talk more obviously about beliefs in a little bit, but really getting clear, like you know, am I actually really stepping into faith, or am I, you know, just dwelling in doubt and fear and worry and concern and overwhelm, and how the hell am I going to deal with this, or how am I going to cope with the kids being home every day? Like all of those things. Remember, the quality of the questions you ask is absolutely imperative, and will make such a difference to your emotions that you're experiencing. Like, you know, oh, how am I ever going to cope with this, as opposed to how can I thrive in this? Right? It's just totally different response that you're going to get. The mind will go wherever you direct it to, and it's our job to ask ourselves really extraordinary questions in order to feel great every single day as well. Of course, the mindset cycle. So, you know, like, it's a tricky one at the moment, because a lot of people would say, well, how did I create this? How did I co-create this? And of course, we've got mass consciousness to consider as well. However, from so many of the conversations that I've had with lots of people, some people are having very, very different experience to this than other people. And I'm, you know, in many ways, for me personally, it just further reinforces like so much around the mindset and the mindset cycle. And it was really interesting. I had the experience of two people in a similar industry, and just seeing like totally different responses around that as well, in how each is coping with those and how each is dealing with those. And it's been, yeah, really, really interesting just knowing where each person's mindset is at. And when people come on a call with me, that's one of the first things, like I can tell straight away, you know, have they been focused on fearful thoughts, or have they been more focused on, you know, where they're going. And again, like, it breaks it down to those three different CEO type groups, which is the fear focused, or the unfocused, or the strategy focused. So, you know, the ones with the strategy have a plan around that. So of course, like, our belief, whatever we believe, if we believe that absolutely, like, we can thrive in this time, or that we can innovate, or that we can become adaptable, or that we can, you know, go with the flow. Like, one thing that I've been doing, and this might help you guys as well, is I check in, you know, am I floating down the river at the moment in my energy? Like, it's such a perfect analogy. It immediately like makes me check in and go, oh, where am I? Oh, I'm struggling a little. Like, I can feel like I'm pushing against stuff, or I'm a little bit in too much drive. And then it's like, okay, cool. Yeah, I can just relax. I can be easy about this. I've got the law of attraction on my side. I can just, you know, like, go with the flow and be easy about this. And it's like, oh, that's just, you can just feel the relief like straight away. And of course, then, like, that amount of belief that you have as to whatever you're believing is definitely going to be the outcome that you're creating, because then you're tapping into that potential or non-potential if you don't believe in yourself, or you don't believe things are going to happen. And a belief is only ever a thought that you've had so many times that you believe it to be true. And really challenging your beliefs at this time is going to be really, really important as well. That's part of that standing guard from a lot of the information that we're kind of getting in. But also, like, just I heard such a great thing around beliefs. It's like, decide what you want, and then determine what are the beliefs that are going to get you there, and then start to believe them. Now, sometimes that can be a little bit tricky in the first place, right? Is actually starting to believe them, because maybe you've got some beliefs to the contrary, but you will gather evidence, you will collect evidence to support whatever belief that you have. So everything's always available. What's going wrong is always available. What's going right is always available. And depending on what belief that you're more focused on at that time, you'll look for the evidence to support that. So again, if your beliefs aren't so cemented in for you, like, start to do belief stacking, where, you know, you're writing down up to 50 beliefs or 50 reasons why, you know, what's actually going to serve you. So if you say that you want to reach a particular income level, like, even in this climate, then it's like, list 50 reasons why you believe that you could actually do that, and then go to work and collect the evidence as to why that's actually true. You know, and again, it's been a benefit for me, because I've seen lots of people, you know, even thriving. And, you know, there's a brilliant mindset group that I'm part of as well at the moment, very high level, and I'm super excited to be part of it, because it's really helped me to sorry, now I've jumped a slide, really helped me to distinguish what the differences have been like in different psychologies and different mindsets, which is really great, but also seeing people like really smashing it like right now. Like there's been some people that have doubled or tripled where they're kind of at right now as well. And I know not all of you have your own business, but again, it goes back into your belief system, just even around your own finances or around your own stability, and what's actually happening. And you will always find a way. It's never about the resources that are available. It's about our resourcefulness and how we actually use that resourcefulness to help us obtain whatever it is that we're wanting. So of course, our potential, with that belief, if we believe that we can make something happen, or we believe that we can have that, then we'll have greater potential, which means we'll take a greater amount of action, which again reinforces the belief, the result, because generally the result we get is whatever we believe is going to happen, which then reinforces the belief and keeps that belief cycling. So this happens obviously in a positive and a negative way as well. So just really important to keep that cycle in mind. So how do we get to that unstoppable mindset in a time of uncertainty? Is it like just, yes, I can do it, or yes, I'm there? It's generally a little bit more in depth than that, because as much as we'd love to, sometimes that doesn't feel that easy to do. So who's felt like that this week? Like I can definitely put up my hand. I've had many on my knees moments in this last week or couple of weeks, for a variety of reasons. And I've also had some of my absolute most connected, most profound, deeply impactful experience of love, like from divinity, that I've just never had before. Like the depth of what we're experiencing right now is amplified like in so many ways. So if you're sensitive to energy, more than likely you're going to have the highs of highs and the lows of lows. And the biggest thing around this is get fussy about how you feel, because if you do feel like rubbish, you're going to be more inclined to step in and actually start to shift and change that. So how do we actually transform our mindset? Now, you guys may not have seen this little model. I love it because it's something I created and I think it's like so cool because it's like the heart method, and you all know how much I love connecting to the heart. So I really believe that this time in our experience at the moment is absolutely, we are being called at a greater level than ever before to step into love, and to expand into love. So when we're obviously in that place of fear, we tend to contract, we contract our body, we tend to contract our actions, we tend to contract everything in our life, whether it's like time or finances or, just even withdrawing a little bit as well, like when we're going really into that fear base. And right now, I think, really stepping into that position as an influencer to bring more light and love into the world. I think there's no greater time to actually do that on so many levels. And I'm really excited. I was playing around with Danielle Noel, she's the artist around it, but Rebecca Campbell's cards the other day, and I got the Age of Light, and it's like, you've been training for this for lifetime. So and I really do feel that. I feel, for anybody that's been doing that mindset work or their inner work or just been on a spiritual journey, right now, like we've really been in training for this particular time, and so now we have to build the muscle even more than ever before. So I'll run through the heart method because it's just a really quick way of actually checking in and going, oh, yep, where am I actually at? Is there a part in that cycle that, perhaps is breaking down a little bit, or I'm not actually taking action around, or I'm not being mindful of as well. So here, obviously, like, it's just checking in. We can't move forward until we know where we're at. It's like finding a place on a map. Like, how do you get from where you are to where you want to go if you don't know either where you are or where you want to go? So checking in, where are you currently at with your mindset, and maybe rate your energy just even now out of 10, or your mindset, or positivity, or how strong that you're feeling within yourself, any of those things. So just really checking in around that, and you know, do that non-judgmentally. This is not a beat yourself up thing. It's just like, get curious, like, oh, where's my energy at? I check in with my base level energy in the morning, every morning that I wake up. And then it's like, okay, if it's a little bit low, it's like, right, what do I need to do in order to enhance that? So this is no different. It's just like, where am I at? Non-judgmentally and with love and compassion. And perhaps you had like a couple of really tough days. You might have young kids, or you might be, you know, just not sleeping well, or, you know, there's obviously lots of different things that could be impacting you right now. Obviously, there's a lot of people that have gone through a lot of uncertainty, either in their jobs or their own businesses. So again, you know, this is not a place to beat yourself up. If you have been feeling flat, like I said, I've had many very flat moments over this last couple of weeks, but I've also had some really incredible high moments as well. So what would you love to change that is within your control? So this is like really kind of cool, right? Because externally, like, there is so much that we cannot control at the moment, where there's so much that is an unknown. But by bringing this back to what could you change, or what would you like to change that is within your control, and obviously that is our mindset, that's our home environment, that's how we're showing up each day, that's like what goals we're working on. Like, there's so much that is within our ability to control, or to have some influence or direction over. What new skills would you like to learn that would be fun or would enhance your life? So again, we've got such a profound opportunity at this time as well to really cement in those new skills and take this time to have fun and to really learn something that you'd love to. I'm chatting with my girls and kind of coming up with some different languages that perhaps I'd like to learn, or just, you know, different things. At the moment, I'm working through my course, which is really quite intense at the moment, so I'm fully focused on that. But beyond that, you know, I'm going to be looking at maybe Japanese, and maybe Italian, and maybe French. They're kind of like my different things around that. And then I've looked at, you know, creating some different physical challenges as well. Maybe I will finally get a chance to tame my unicycle. So if I do, I will send you all a video. So, you know, why not? Like, so much fun. So like, what could be different for you, or what is it that you'd love to really experience? But first, checking in, where are you currently? Then we want to expand. So it's like, where do you want to be 6 months from now? So honestly, guys, like, if you have not taken the time to actually sit down and work out, what do I want to create within a 6-month period? Absolutely, you know, whether it's today, whether it's tomorrow, or whether it's over the weekend, but get that down so you do have a clear plan moving forward. Like we spoke about in the first bit, it was the strategy focused CEOs that actually really were so solid in their psychology, they were so solid in their mindset, and they were able to be powerful influences for the people around them because they knew exactly where they were going. The time frames may shift. I totally agree with you guys. If anyone's going, yeah, but like, I don't know when I can make that happen, obviously two different circumstances. My time frame around my America trip has definitely changed. It's now 12 months later. So there's certainly different things, different experiences there that may not be happening in that particular time frame, but really clarifying, again, coming back to what are the things that you can control, and, you know, perhaps looking at, you know, where do I want my health to be 6 months from now? Where do I want my flexibility or my fitness to be, or my muscle strength to be? Where do I want, you know, my finances? Where do I want my relationships? Like, right now, we've got such a prime time to really focus on our relationships and really to love on people. I had the most beautiful experience last night of just literally snuggling up with both of my girls watching this movie, and it just filled my heart up. My energy, my base energy was so much higher than what it normally is, because I think it's probably been maybe 2, maybe 4 years. I was trying to think about how long it's actually been since we've done that. But we used to do that every Friday night. We'd all snuggle up together, watch a movie, and it was just like our Friday night chill thing. And we did it last night, and it was just like, oh my God, it was just so good. So again, focusing on like your relationships and what fills you up, or where do you want to be? So looking at those different life areas as well. And maybe, what's the new vision for yourself? If there's some certain characteristics, is it that you want to be more confident, or is it that you want to articulate yourself better? Is it that you want to be a writer or a painter? Is it that you want to start a new business? Like, what is it that is that new vision for yourself, and who you want to become? So really powerful. Again, this takes the focus completely off fear-based and it's really about setting some really positive intentions for ourselves moving forward. So as many of you have heard me say as well, I feel like we're all kind of like little caterpillars at the moment, and I thought he was a very cute caterpillar. Like, I don't know whether we'd find one like that out in the wild, but I hope so. He's pretty cute. So, we all have this beautiful ability at the moment to be the caterpillar, to really be taking in all of that knowledge, to be consuming and consuming all of that knowledge in and integrating that and implementing that, and then really spreading our wings and really starting to soar, particularly as we start to emerge from this as well. And getting that really beautiful clear vision for yourself to be able to do that is absolutely going to be so powerful for you all. So of course, starting our rituals, our morning off, to start your day right is absolutely going to be amazing. So, if we can be obviously doing several different things, I don't know whether running along the beach with a big piece of green material is possible right now, but whatever you can do to really enhance your day. I've certainly been walking down the river each day still. I'm loving that. I listen to my walking meditation as I do that. I'm connecting with the sun, I'm connecting with nature. It's just a total reset for my body as well. So whatever those quality rituals are to start your day right, get those down on a piece of paper as well, so that you're tuning in, you're checking in. Or maybe, if you've only got a couple of things that you're wanting to focus on, or you just want to read a positive book or listen to a positive podcast, or any of those things that help you to start your day right and in a positive way, absolutely will make a difference. Like I said, I'm doing like 3 sets of mindset work each day, or at least significant check-ins, and right, where's my energy at? Am I focusing on what I want to create moving forward, or am I tending to get a little bit caught up with what's going on at the moment? So again, really solidifying those morning rituals. As many of you know, I use the emotional guidance scale a lot, and there is a copy of this in the Empowered Women group as well, so in just the open group. So please feel free to jump in there. I'm certain that is in there. If it's not, I'll jump in and put that file in there, but I'm certain that it's in there, so everybody can access that. I've got the instructions on there. I'm not going to run through that tonight because I'm really mindful of everybody's time, but it definitely is such a great tool that you can use at any point. And for any of you that have worked with me personally, you'll know that I am a massive fan of that, as well as the old beliefs. So, is this true? How do I feel when I believe this particular thought as well? And knowing full well that if you feel like rubbish when you're believing a thought, I would absolutely challenge you or invite you to really question that belief or that thought. Many times, and this was the main part of kind of my presentation from when I was going to speak before, because after Joe's talk and there was so much conversation, obviously, with so many people in the group, where it was like they really felt like they weren't enough. They really felt that they were beating up on themselves, and there was a lot of negative talk and things like that. And we can all do that at times. It's absolutely human. But again, we don't actually have to buy into the belief around that. So of course, questioning those beliefs. Can I absolutely know it's true? How do I feel when I believe the thought? How do I feel without the thought? Just such a powerful way to really start to change up that mindset and to actually counteract some of those negative beliefs. So if you found with what you're wanting to create, and you found some negative beliefs in there, or beliefs that just aren't serving you anymore, absolutely go to town on those. Like, again, such a perfect opportunity to do lots of inner work at the moment, like the little caterpillar that's turning into the butterfly. And again, like, consistency is absolutely paramount at the moment as well. So creating like your strong vision and your why, creating the plan for the day based on your long-term goals as well. So make sure you're clear, guys. Like planning and scheduling is so important. Again, you know, you want some spontaneity in there, but you know, if you do not plan it, somebody else will create their own agenda that you become part of. And if you haven't got anything down on your plan, guess what? Like you just get taken on somebody else's agenda for the day, whether that's your kids or whether that's your spouse or whether that's your boss or like anybody else. But get really clear. What are the 1 to 2 to 3 things that you would feel bloody proud of yourself if you got those things done as well. Now, alongside that plan, you really want to create or decide who it is that you need to be in order that you need to feel amazing, or in order to feel amazing, or in order to feel great, or in order to feel calm. Like insert whatever word that you want there, but it's like, who do I need to be in order to get my goals, or in order to feel better within myself? Oh, I need to be calmer, or I need to be more courageous, or I need to be a visionary, or like use whatever words are going to help you. I love, if I was already feeling secure, confident and successful, what would I be doing today? Like that's one of mine. Again, going back to quality questions. And the other one that I use is like, if I was already at the next level, how would I be showing up today? Like or as my higher self, how would I be showing up? So again, some really great quality questions around that. Your journaling, walk, exercise, move your body. Moving your body is so important because it's going to change your physiology, particularly if you're in a little bit of fear or you're a little bit of powerlessness or just not feeling great within yourself. That's why exercise is so powerful, because you're changing your physiology, which means you're changing up that muscle memory of where that emotion is actually stored in your body as well. So really powerful. It was very interesting. I haven't actually lifted weights for about a week and a half now. Since I did my 42k walk last week. I was just really just being kind to my body, and I went to lift weights last night, and sometimes I can be a little emotional coming into my cycle. Out of the 7 sets, I cried after every single set, and so after 7 sets I had I don't know, I don't know how many sets all up. There was probably like 30 sets all up that I was meant to get through in my gym workout. And after 7 sets of crying each time, I just went, I think it's actually probably okay to rest my body again tonight. So clearly that was what I needed. So again, just tuning into your body. Like it doesn't mean that you need to go out and smash your body or anything like that. If you're needing to be a bit gentler with yourself, really like take note of that. After I did that, I just like it was kind and gentle. I've been doing a lot of yoga. I've still been doing my walking. But just figure out kind of what's going to work for you as well, and be really kind to yourself around that. Of course, gratitude is your greatest antidote to fear. So take time to be grateful or to think of the things that you appreciate and celebrate the small wins. So take action on your goals, jumping in, obviously using the emotional guidance scale if you need, and clearing limiting beliefs. There's only like a couple of things on there. Just some ideas. Like don't feel like you've got to do all of that, and if you're not doing any of that to start with, just pick one thing. Never try and do the whole thing at the one time. I've been building this list, and there's probably a couple of other things actually on there that I haven't put on there, like playing the piano and doing my yoga and reading, or listening to positive information, whether that's Abraham Hicks or other audiobooks or anything else. But again, like just whatever's kind of doable, and particularly if your circumstances have changed considerably in terms of, you know, you've got lots of little people at home all the time now, you may want to peel that right back and just do a couple of things, or maybe just one thing on there as well. Like I love going for a walk and listening to something positive. Like that can be a really great thing. For many of you as well, I spoke about the Goal movie. So I jump on my mini tramp outside of my balcony and watch the sunrise. So if anybody's driving past Takata Street at like what time does the sun rise these days? It's like late, 7:30. You might see me out jumping up and down, looking like a bit of a tool, but I'm having fun. So that's the main thing, right? So obviously that consistency creates that momentum, which creates the exponential change. And it doesn't take a lot of change, but done over time can represent huge amounts of change, obviously. So 1% change per day, 360, you will not recognize yourself in 12 months. Like, it's amazing. Of, you know, the shifts that can occur in 12 months. We're gonna let go at the moment, guys. Like, it's so important. This poor little pussycat, not happy. But really, like, we're swimming upstream whenever we're trying to control the uncontrollable. And certainty will not be able to be found this time externally, or at this time externally. So, you know, really understanding that where perhaps we had a lot of certainty previously in jobs or in relationships or in housing or in bank accounts or security in external means or materialistic ways, that's all going to have shifted. And the main way that we actually find certainty is through having faith and practicing gratitude. You know, faith is what keeps us on the side of the road when we're driving. You know, we've got to have faith to walk out the door, to go anywhere, to do anything. And again, it's really about practicing that next level of faith, as opposed to, and trusting in the unknown, trust in this process at the moment, trust that this is all happening for our own good. I keep anchoring in, you know, everything happens for the best outcome for me. Everything's happening for me, not to me. All of those things. So again, just really practicing gratitude in advance for what's coming to you. When we have powerful contrast in life, it means we've lined so much up in a really wonderful way for ourselves. But if you're so focused on what's going wrong, you're never going to be in the receiving energy then to be able to have what it is that you want. Sorry, I was thinking that yeah, so receiving with, obviously, with the faith and the trust and the gratitude. So that's really how we get into that receiving state, to be able to manifest and to receive what it is that we're wanting to create. Now, again, timeframes may have shifted around stuff, but again, you know, so many miracles can happen. I've had some really incredible experiences. Again, you know, I went out to the universe the other day. I love some flowers, and I'm like, I'm going to go down and buy some flowers. So I did that, and the following day, Tals brought me home some flowers as well. So now I have 2 lots of flowers. So really, again, just focusing on what it is that you want to create. Practice, have fun with manifesting small things as well. Like, at this time, it'll really help to shore your faith up, and also just to have fun. I did an incredible healing the other day on myself, and just in relation to a specific circumstance. And I hadn't spoken to that particular person for like 2 weeks, and they contacted me within 10 minutes of me doing that healing about that particular situation. You know, just again and again, I'm reminded how powerful our influence is as human beings, and how incredible our power is when we're focused in a way that is focused on absolute love and gratitude and appreciation as well. So coming back to the heart center as always. So definitely, you know, we need to be celebrating every success right now. Anything that's working well for us, definitely celebrate that, no matter how big or how small. Like, if you know, your kids that have trouble eating, or, you know, meal times are tricky or whatever, celebrate every meal time, or celebrate everything that they eat. Success breeds success. You know, every module of homework that they get through, or schoolwork that they're getting done, you know, really celebrate that. Teach your kids as well to celebrate in themselves. I think that that's such a powerful thing. We're taught in Australia, particularly, you know, not to celebrate those things. Like, don't be a big shot, don't get too big for your boots. Like, you know, we're all taught, like, to really dull things down and dim things down as well. So really take some time, obviously, to celebrate every single win. I know for me, on my flatter days, when I'm doing a fist pump, like, I will do a fist pump after I put like laundry in. I'll do a fist pump after I make my bed. I'll do a fist pump for like every little step forward that is forward momentum, where I'm showing up for me I'll celebrate that, because I know by the end of that, like every time I've done that, my body's got to hit a dopamine. I'll take that dopamine any day, guys. Like it's like that sets off that reward center, which goes, oh, this feels good. Let's do that again. So every time I do stuff, whether it's working on my business or with my kids, or I'm showing up in a particular way, I will celebrate that, because it anchors in that particular behavior or that particular characteristic, which feels really good then, because then you're integrating that into your identity. So you're going, yes, that's right, this is who I am. Whereas when you don't take time to celebrate those big wins, but even the small wins, you're not actually acknowledging that, and your wins will end up feeling like really empty, and it'll kind of feel like, well, what's even the point? Like, why even bother? It doesn't matter how much I do, it's never enough. Like, I've certainly been in that place before, and a lot of it was because I wasn't taking time to really celebrate and anchor in my wins. So every time that you do that, again, like I said, you're going to be integrating that at a deeper level in your identity. And then it's like, yeah, this is just who I am. This is just how I show up. This is, who I am each day. So again, that gets to build momentum and consistency as well moving forward. Whereas if you're focused on what you haven't done or what you didn't do well, and like, oh God, I've been there a million times, beat myself up for it, never feels good. But again, being really mindful around that in your energy and where your focus is actually going. And if you're feeling really flat or really tired in yourself, like burnout, things like that, that can massively impact that as well, where we tend to be quite critical to ourselves. So just be mindful of that. Perhaps you need a little bit more sleep. Perhaps you just need to be a little bit more kinder, or perhaps you need to lower some standards and expectations on yourself right now. Completely okay to do that, and just use it as a reset. So whatever you guys need to do, obviously with big adjustments and big changes, certainly I've been through some of those in the last couple of weeks. And again, like I said, I know that within the next week, like I'm going to be ramping back up with my my weight training. Like I have full confidence around that. I've done it diligently for the last 18 months, like 4 workouts a week. I think there's probably been 1 week where I did like 3 workouts, but the rest of the time, like I've got 4 workouts in per week, or 1 week I've done 5 and the other I've done 3. So consistently for the last 18 months. That's how I've showed up. So I've celebrated all of those. So you can hear my integrity and congruency with, that's just who I am and that's just what I do. And I've needed to be a little bit kinder and gentler on my body, particularly after my 42K walk, and particularly after a couple of other changes for myself as well. So like I said, really just taking that time to really celebrate every single win, every single step forward. And if you do find that you do get a little bit off track, or you need to back off on the intensity of something, you know that you can pick that back up again, because it's integrated in your identity. So really, really powerful there. So challenges with sustaining this. And now I just need to move this little thing over. Oh, where are we? Sorry. Where are we? I don't know that I can, oh, there we go. I can hide that. That's good, because I couldn't see the other parts. Hopefully you guys can see all of it. So obviously the challenges with sustaining this is it's not a one-time thing. It's not like, you go and lift weights once and then like your body is like totally, you're physically fit and you're so strong. That's not obviously how it works. So again, your mindset is something that you need to work out daily. Like I said, I've been working my mindset out 3 times per day at the moment, simply because I know that that's what I need to be able to maintain and sustain the energy that I'm wanting to at this period in time. We all need accountability. Accountability is one of the biggest things. Without accountability, our chances of getting our goals, even if you tell a mate, you increase your accountability by about 35%. With somebody specific that calls you on your accountability, you actually increase your chances of getting your goal by 95%. That's huge. And we all have blind spots, right? So there's things that when we're in a program or when we're in unconscious behavior, we don't even know that we're in that, because we're so consumed by the pattern of behavior that it's hard to actually tell like any differently for ourselves as well. So obviously, we all have those experiences where you might feel great one day and then kind of fall back into old habits as well. That's where that accountability really comes in. Life will challenge us. That's just a natural part of life. We're here to grow, we're here to learn, we're here to become more. So absolutely imperative around that. The 5 people closest to you absolutely will influence you the most. This is so, so, so important. I might just get whoever's mic is a little bit loud there just to
Yeah, it's Mel. Yep.
thank you, darling. Yeah, just to mute yourself. Otherwise, I'll just mute everyone. I have the power. No, I'm just joking. So the 5 people closest to you obviously will make the biggest influence. Making sure that people that you surround yourself with, do they inspire you? Do they uplift you? Do you want to be like them? Do you respect them? All of those things, do they have what it is that you want? Now, they don't have to answer tick off all of those, but they're just some really great checking questions in terms of who are you surrounding yourself with, because having that positive peer group is so, so, so important. And I know for myself personally, I have one girlfriend that I went through my coach training with back in 2014. It's now obviously 2020. We still message each other and talk to each other every Monday. And it's just like this beautiful friendship that's evolved over time. We were great friends at the course. We actually had a challenge that we did together at the course, which really kind of bonded us in a great way as well. But it's just been this beautiful friendship that's flourished, and she succeeds in most incredible ways, and I'm so inspired by her. And she shared with me the other day that I really inspire her around the way that I think about things, or the way that I kind of work on myself and do my inner work as well. So for her, that's where she gets like a lot of her inspiration as well. So again, it doesn't have to be, that they tick off all of those things that I mentioned, but certainly you want to make sure that the people that you're spending time with are enhancing your life and helping lift you up and encourage you towards your dreams and your goals, because that's so important. And again, one of the other things that can be really challenging with, so it's kind of like enmeshed with this as well, is creating necessity for change. Now, one of the reasons why people don't change long term or fall back into old habits is that they're not in that supportive environment. So we've got 2 things around necessity. We have our own internal reasons as to why we feel that we need to change, or we should change, or we must change. And we also have external reasons. So that might be, wow, it's going to impact my kids, or it's going to impact my partner in a positive way. But if you're not feeling supported externally, then that's where we do tend to lapse back a little bit, or perhaps not move forward in the way that we're wanting to. And that's where we end up dimming our light to not rock the boat, to not upset anybody, to not make anybody else feel insecure or inferior. And it doesn't serve anybody. We are so here to shine our light and to be really true to who we actually are. And the more that you can surround yourself with that peer group or positive people that influence and encourage you, will definitely make such a huge difference as well. And you guys will laugh because majority of you are actually already in, obviously, the Inner Circle Mastermind. But for anybody else that's watching this afterwards as well, obviously, these are the things that we touch on in there. There's the goal setting, the manifestation, the money, the health, the energy, the spirituality, purpose, career, business. Like, these are all the things that we talk on, and just have a beautiful, such a supportive group. And to all of you that are on here, that are they're already in the Empowered Inner Circle Mastermind, a huge thank you to you all as well for how you show up and who you are in the group as well. I know that there's been so many beautiful friendships that have been developed from that group as well, and outside of that group and inside of that group. And I feel so blessed to be a part of that, and to share some things that have helped me along the way as well. So obviously, confidence, self-love, intimate relationships, fun, of course, that's so important. Creativity, all of those things, friendships, travel, adventure, celebration and reflection, which I've obviously just spoken about the importance of as well. And so the investment for that is only $97 per month. and it's such a supportive group, as I'm sure many of the girls can attest to on here, as to, you know, some of the changes that's happened for them and everything else. And I've got a beautiful testimony that Helen shared with me the other day, and this just lit my heart up so much when she sent that through. It totally made my day. So thank you so much, Helen. I really appreciate that. And you know, it's just makes such a difference when yeah, we're all coming together in a collaborative way as well, and just raising each other up as well. So super powerful. For anybody else as well that was interested in my retreat, I also do have my retreat coming up in September. So I've transferred the dates from the 24th to the 27th of April to the 24th and 27th of September. So if anybody's interested around that, fingers crossed, you know, we'll all be back to some form of normal. I don't know that it'll actually be the same normal, but it will definitely be some form of normal as well. And yeah, so if anybody is interested in finding out more about that, we'll be doing some Soothe Your Soul stuff, and that will be really beautiful as well, where we can dive deep and spend 2.5, 3 days going deep into all of this mindset stuff and peeling back the layers, and get to pick my brain for like 2.5 days. So that's all pretty cool as well. So hope that has been helpful to you all. So much love and gratitude for showing up here tonight, and please feel free to take yourself off the mics, and if you've got any questions at all, please feel free to jump in and ask me. We can do this as a live Q&A, or perhaps if there's something that you feel challenged around or unsure around, or you know, you've got a question for somebody else that you love and you want to share this video, I'll put this video in the group with them. Please feel free to jump in and ask any questions, or pop it in the chat room. I will jump off the sharing the screen and we can all connect with each other in here now. So has anybody got anything that they'd love to ask? Or
That was great. Thanks, Sal. Beautiful.
my pleasure, Sue. That's no worries at all, darling.
Yep, agree. It was awesome, Sal. Thank you.
My pleasure, Helen. And thanks, Leonie, as well. So you can pop a question in the chat if you'd like to. Hey, Robin, great to have you on as well too, darling. Well, I'm just super proud because it's like 7 minutes to 8 and I nailed it. I didn't actually go over. So I'm really proud. I tend to be like a fire hydrant when giving information, so I do apologize if that was the way it came out. But thank you all so much for your time on here. I do hope that it has just helped obviously cement those things in a little bit further or a little bit deeper for you guys. Know you're always at choice. We have such a powerful you know, point in time at the moment to really step in and be that influencer for others, to really step into that love and light, and yeah, just spread love and focus on what is that future vision that you're creating for yourself as well, because it really will be the biggest antidote to fear that you possibly can give yourself as well. So I will let you all go and return to your beautiful families, or whatever you were wanting or planning to do tonight for yourself as well. And again, thanks so much for being here, guys. Loads of love, and it's just lovely to connect obviously with everyone as well. So you can unmute yourselves and all say good night or goodbye, and yeah, we'll catch you guys at another time.
Thanks, gorgeous.
Good night. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Have a good night.
Bye.